I reach a me down him say if you come yeah. Well, so my voice needs help, and I need help. So I've come for voice training lessons, vocal training lessons, and I have a guest in studio, and she's going to basically help me with my voice to improve on the skills. And when you meet my guest, you understand why she's the one who has joined me this morning. Good morning, Kokui.
Good morning, David. Thank you for joining my voice studio.
Okay.
I'm glad to take you on as a student.
Yeah.
/ patient. Okay.
Student / patient. Wow.
Let's talk about voice lessons.
So the whole idea, basically, of this segment is to help all of you at home, who have been fancying, just a little bit of improvement. That's actually all you need, for you to sound different from what people have been hearing from your voice. Yeah. And you can learn it right here. Voice Lessons 101.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So let's get into it.
Help me out.
Now, voice lessons can be for singing, can be for speaking as well.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So for people who maybe don't have, if you feel your voice is a bit raspy, or maybe your vocal placement isn't that good, or you're very short of breath, like you don't know how to support your breath to sustain it, you can take voice lessons to help with that. So we can deal with a bit of both.
Okay.
But if you were to come into my voice studio for the very first time, and you're a student and you say, oh, you're a singer, and you want voice lessons to help with your singing, first thing I would ask you to do is sing something for me, so I can just get a sense of your voice.
Something.
But today I won't ask you to sing.
Thank you.
Today today one-on-one, I'm just going to work on your breathing and your posture. Okay. Those two things. So we won't sing.
So posture is also important.
Posture is very important.
Wow.
Yes, you can't sing with the wrong posture. Well, you can,
but it won't be as good.
It won't be as good, and you'll stress yourself unnecessarily. Okay. And you may even stress your voice. Okay. Wow. So we'll talk about posture. We'll talk about breath control. So you come in. I'll check that first. So why don't you let's take a look at how, if you're going to sing, how you stand, just your normal posture. Okay. It's not bad. I mean, let's look at Kwaku carefully. All right. So the singer's posture. You want to stand with your feet, let's say shoulder width apart. Okay. Maybe shoulder width apart, just about. You want to roll your shoulders back. Okay, chest out. And your knees should never be locked back like this.
Oh, it shouldn't.
They should be soft. We call them soft knees. So you should have your knees soft. Okay. So that you feel as though you could at any point take off, you can move easily. And this is also important because you don't want to get lightheaded. When you're singing, you've got a lot of breath going in and out, very controlled. If you lock your knees, you could easily get lightheaded and
then faint.
And you don't want that. Okay, so keep your knees soft for a singer. Now, a lot of singers, for women, maybe for performance sake, you might want to wear high heels as your costume. That's fine, as long as it doesn't affect your posture, your breathing, and you can work with it. And a lot of singers can, and they have practice in that. If you're somebody who is uncomfortable on high heels and moving around with them, maybe find a lower heel or even flats to make you comfortable. Okay. So your shoulders are nice and back, relaxed, never like this, always relaxed, down and back, chest out, as I said. Okay. And you lead with your core. So you should feel as though you've got a lot of core strength and your core radiates power. Okay. All right. So when you're standing as a singer, you also want your head to be nice and just central. Okay. It shouldn't be too far forward. It shouldn't be too far back, or your chin lifted up or down, so that you can move it easily while you're singing. Now, if you feel like your neck is tense, you can do some neck rolls to relax it. Okay. Both directions. You can also move it forward and backward and side to side, just to loosen it up, okay? Now your face, it's also part of it, okay? Your facial muscles and everything. Your face should not feel tight or tense. Your jaw should not feel tight or tense. You should feel as though you could easily chew even while you're singing. You'd be able to move your face around, okay? So you can do some movements like this, as if you're chewing, to move your facial muscles around, okay? Yeah, move them around. Now, very good, nice and free. Now let's talk about your face. Can I touch you? Sorry.
Yes, please.
All right, let's talk about your face as far as the singer goes. Now, this area here around your nostrils, and it's actually good because these days we wear masks a lot.
Okay.
There's something we call the singer's mask. The singer's mask.
Okay.
It's this area here. It's almost like a triangle around your nose. And for women, the place that we put a lot of highlighter on our faces to highlight this place, we call it the singer's mask.
Okay.
Your resonators, which are the parts of your face where your sound vibrates or resonates from, are right around here. So you can use your sinuses as a reference point, okay, this part. So this is where, when you're thinking of placing your sound and your voice, think here. To help you, maybe think nasal.
Okay.
Think nasal, but don't sound nasal necessarily, okay? So you think, this area here, that's where your resonators are. This is your singer's mask. So when you're singing, when you're speaking, especially professionally, so if you're on air, if you're on radio, if you're on TV, you'll notice that a lot of newscasters and stuff, especially abroad, they speak in a certain way when they're broadcasting. Then when you're off air, you go back to your bad habits of talking, in your throat and all of that. When you're doing it professionally and you really want to project, that's when you go into that space up there, so your voice really comes out, and you stick in that space. Do you understand?
Okay.
So it's very, very different. Now, let's go a bit lower. So you've started with here, your resonators and all of that. Now we come down, your mouth. So you've got your teeth, you've got your tongue, you've got your lips, and you've got what's inside as well. Now you have something called your palate. You've got a hard palate,
and a soft
and you've got a soft palate behind it. Now your soft palate, if you take your tongue, just press the roof of your mouth. That's your hard palate, right? The hard up there. If you go back towards the back of your mouth, the back of your tongue, and you lift it up, you'll feel a softer part towards the back up. That's your soft palate. When you're singing, you need to learn how to raise that soft palate. We say, raise your palate, especially when you're singing higher, to let air flow freely and let your sound elevate and all of that. So that's your soft palate. Keep that in mind. Now, let's go a bit further down. Your throat. And you've got your voice box or your trachea in there as well. Now, your voice box helps to produce your sound, yes. But the mistake a lot of people make with singing is they sing from their throat.
Okay.
Now, your sound, your air will definitely pass through your throat because that's where your windpipe is, that's where your voice box is. But you have to learn not to start the sound from there. Otherwise, you end up straining your throat and your voice. You have to learn how to have a relaxed throat. Just think of your throat as the passageway. Everything else starts from here and ends up here. And the throat is just the passageway.
You belt it up through here.
Exactly. And then sound comes out, and then you project from there. So this is basically your microphone. Microphone. And this is your, if you were playing, what's that thing called? Bagpipes. Maybe this would be the accordion. Yes, this is where the air, everything is produced here in your torso. Then you've got just the pipe where it comes through, and then the speakers and microphone resonate it. Okay, so let's come down. Let's look at our rib cage area and our lungs, okay? Your lungs obviously take in air. So when you're breathing, you inhale, you expand, air goes into your lungs wonderfully, and your lungs, the air is what powers the sound, okay? You carry the sound on air. Now, you've got what's beneath your rib cage called a diaphragm. It's a muscle that acts as the anchor for supporting your sound, in addition to your abdominal muscles and your rib cage and your intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between your ribs. I'm sorry, I know this is very going through everything very quickly, but it's the basis of the physiology of singing. You see. So all of that, the intercostal muscles help you to expand your rib cage and all of that. Your lungs take in air, your rib cage expands all around. Okay, so even in your back, you should feel expansion. Then when you sing, you support with your diaphragm, that anchors and pushes down, then you start to sing. So as you're singing, you push down with your diaphragm to control the flow of the air as it comes out. It's a whole process and thing. Okay, so Kokui, I'm going to test your breathing since we only have a couple of minutes. I'm going to test your breathing and your posture. So get your good posture. Okay, so you're about shoulder width apart, your shoulders are back.
There we go.
Head is nice and free and loose. Okay, your shoulders are back. You are a famous baritone.
Am I?
About to perform Figaro's aria.
Hey.
Yes. And
Figaro's aria.
Okay, so relax, relax, relax. Shake it all out. Knees are soft, not locked. Soften those knees. Thank you. Okay. Now, I want you to take a deep breath in and let me see what I feel. So breathe in. Breathe in. Good. Okay, breathe out. Breathe in. Good. Breathe out. Now, I don't know if the camera can capture this. Turn around so we can see your back. And maybe they can zoom in on you here. So when I talk about breathing in, you know, sometimes when you tell people to breathe in, they go like this.
Yeah.
Which is so wrong.
Yeah.
Because when you're breathing in, remember, you're taking in air. So you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should
expand
like this.
Yeah.
So the reason I want you to look at Kweku's back is because his inhalation is so good that you should see it in his back. So Kweku, breathe in. Very good. You see how his back expanded? Now breathe out. And you see how it went back down. So he's breathing actually the right way. Breathe in, good, and breathe out. So when you breathe in again, you should feel that and breathe out. And if you had an x-ray and you would see your rib cage go like that, and your lungs also go like that, lift and then down. So if you're not feeling this kind of expansion in your back, your breath is not deep enough and it's probably not good enough, okay? But you have an excellent breath. Well done.
Thank you.
You've passed the first test.
I've been learning. I read before class.
So that's actually very, very, very good. So now that you've got a good basic breath inhalation and exhalation, then you've got to work on breath support.
Okay.
So that when you are singing and exhaling on your breath, you can control it very well. And that helps you with sustaining your phrases and singing longer phrases, which is really, really good. It also helps you with your range.
Okay.
So if you can take a deep breath and you learn how to control that with your muscles, you can actually sing.
I don't think I read up to that point.
Okay, but it can help you with that. But that takes time and practice. Okay. Do you have any questions for me so far?
No, so far. I mean, I'm just curious to see, what exercises to do to help with breath support.
Okay, you can do a few things. There's a table here, and believe it or not, a table can help. So especially if you have trouble anchoring your breath, so you breathe in and you feel like, you're not able to breathe in deeply, and when you exhale, it just goes quickly.
Yes.
So if you inhale, you take your deep breath. Remember, you feel it in your back. When you're exhaling, just on the edge of the table, this one is a bit wobbly, but fine. You can just anchor yourself. Use your abs as you're exhaling, as if you are, when a tire, when there's air hissing out.
Yes.
So you want to feel as though you're pushing the air through a tiny hole.
Okay.
And this pushing is just for an exercise. Controlled, okay?
Okay.
Controlled for as long as possible.
Okay.
So you exhale. So you keep going like that with holding your abs, like pushing with your diaphragm. You do that as many times as possible, in, out, until you can sustain. That helps to build your breath support and control.
Wow.
And when you're singing, you won't push the air out like that. So this is mainly for building that muscle support, okay?
I think we need to do a part 2 of this.
We could. Okay, so that's basic, 101, breathing, breath support, etc. Well done, Kweku. I think I can sign you up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to sign up.
Maybe.
Because